You'll be on your knees tomorrow. And you go back, Jack, do it again.
Do it again. What up, my dogs? It is 6:32. It is May 15th. It is Thursday. I hope everyone's feeling well. Um, my name is Scott Redler. I'm El Jefe, the Chief Strategic Officer, not the Jefe, the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club. This is where we go over levels. This is where we try and figure out how to make money for the day. This is how we be prudent. This is how we get our day going. Cheers to Thursday. It's been a great move, a lot of good things to do, a lot of ways to maneuver, a lot of hopefully smart decisions at the right time in the right place. Can't be perfect, but we can make some progress, right? Progress is what leads to happiness, not perfection, my dogs. Anyway, I've had a really good week. I think most of the people from the Alpha team are doing awesome. Some of you guys are doing great. A lot of people are back to the highs of their year. Tried to thread the needle a little bit right here where we had a calculated risk into Monday, stayed with it, reduced a little bit on Tuesday, yesterday, reduced, got a little hedged. And so far, we're down 3 points in the SPYs, which isn't a big deal. And a lot could change at the 830 numbers, the PPI and all that kind of stuff. But for now, little doji into some really big resistance. Hopefully it made some sense for some of you guys to bring down some risk. 580, 583 were below. 583 were above. The 8 days all the way down here. Whenever the 8 days all the way down there and you're a lot stretched and the oscillator is plus 65 or so, you want to try and be, a little bit more prudent. Some guys are, well, Red Dog, you didn't say anything. I'm like, I do a lot in the public, by the way. I try and give you guys as much as I possibly can, but T3's got to keep their lights on also, right? That's why I have Redler Premium. Redler Premium is my note. The Alpha team goes with me all day. So there's a difference between, so this is Red Dog Public. I have 219,000 followers or community members. I don't call them followers. And then here is Redler Premium. I have 928 people that pay money actually to get 40 charts in my interaction all day. But yesterday, right around, what time was it? I give them some charts at the end of the day. They get to see what I'm doing. Oh, right around here. This was pretty helpful. I'm overhedged here where it's 589 calls sold. 590 calls sold, meaning I'm short them trying to take in premium. And if you remember, we talked about last week being long Tesla, being long TSLO, being long calls, being long NVIDIA options, Palantir options. Guess what? Got them, sold them all as of yesterday. So it's nice when that happens. I still have a few things on that I have to maneuver, but making some small changes, helps. And I'm not going to start getting all excited that I sold the Blood in the Street account on what day did I sell that on? Tuesday? Back to cash. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. So for today, we'll see how it goes. Again, SPYs are only down 3. They were down 4. 583-ish is a spot, then 577 is the gap. Mind the gap. The Qs closed on the dead highs. What's yesterday's low for the Qs? Yesterday's lows for the Qs is 515.75. 515.75. Anyhow, so we'll see what happens here. Does it hold that low, or does it want to shake the tree a little bit? Qs have been very strong. Wouldn't be so bad if you could see 507.89. Let's see what the Qs are doing versus the SPYs. The Qs aren't even at the low. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. So with that being said, what's the IWM doing? Somebody asked me. It's probably gonna fill this gap. It's still trending from the lows, so you can still buy some dips here. IWM, I'm not really focused on. I haven't really traded it during this move. There's been much better moves in tech. If you guys remember, Tesla, which frustrates the cajones out of a lot of people, made us a ton, like a big ton. What's a ton? Like an elephant. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so with that being said, we started to really buy in here TSLL and TSLL calls. This is when I added Tesla stock and hit a high of 350 yesterday. Guess what? Red Dog doesn't own any Tesla anymore. I took that trade. And I actually even shorted some 370 premium for $2. But anyway, so for now, what will Tesla do? What's this? 337. Okay, where is Tesla right now? Let's see. Tesla is Down 8. It's right around there. So we'll see. Does Tesla hold this spot? You know, I don't think I'm ready to buy it back yet. I might. It all depends. Depends on what kind of pullback we have. Is this day one of a pullback, or is this going to be, bought and go green, and all of a sudden this trade that's has a lot of momentum everywhere continues, or are we going to go into a phase where we could pull back 1-2% in the SPYs or the S&P, which wouldn't be so bad. So anyway, if we don't hold 337, this high here is what, 322-ish? That would be a good spot, 322 to 325, but we'll see. So with that being said, I am not in it. I am shorted. I'm going to see if I could buy versus a 5 15-minute low for cash flow. We'll see. NVIDIA was the other big play. I sold that also. Not that I'm perfect at all. I'm not far from perfect. That's my wife. She'll tell you all my flaws. I have a few. Anyway, this is when I was really hyper focused on it right here, coming out of 115. That's why we said it's huge inflection point. That was when I put on 116 calls, and then into, I think, this move, I sold them, and then I bought the 120s or somewhere, wherever. I was buying the 115s here or 16s, sold them into there, and then into this move, I bought the 120s, and I got it all out of them. So now the question is, can we buy back NVIDIA? Maybe, again, but after 4 big days, you don't want to buy some things back too quick, especially look where the 8 day is. So we'll see what happens here. This is 131.22. Where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA's not even there. It's not even there. Look how strong that is. So maybe you could buy that. So the question is, are we going to hold yesterday's lows in the Qs in some of these names, or are we going to break below them? The SPYs, the question is, do we stay below yesterday's lows? Do we 3,583? Will the PPI be kind of like the CPI, a little light, so it shows the inflation isn't so crazy? I also sold my Meta. Maybe I buy some Meta back today. Not sure. It came right into my 660 resistance. Meta is so loose and wide. I think I'd rather have you buy Meta a little closer to here. Again, look how extended all these things are from the 8 day. Hard to buy when it's not extended, and that's definitely if you shorted a little early. It's tricky. So what do I have on that I have to adjust? I'm long a little Amazon. I did sell a nice amount into the 215, so I think it should be buyable into this 205. What's this low? 208.85. I am long some. I will probably add to it into this spot. So I am in a little bit of that. I'm in some Apple calls, not in Apple stock. I was thinking Apple could hold up around here and fill this gap. It's not special if I was, but it's worthy of maybe I'll buy a little bit more calls for next week in case Apple wants to wake up. It's not acting special. Uber, I'm in that. Goldman Sachs actually reiterated their buy today, so maybe it goes red to green. What a big move for Uber. Uber is definitely special sauce. But again, it's had a huge move, huge like everything else. So we'll see, where does it hold? Maybe it comes into the 8 day. I also sold my Palantir yesterday, so I'm going to see what happens there. I would think this 125 area holds. That could be a good buy. So we were buying Palantir in here, played it through, sold it yesterday. Yes. Anyway, that was a good selling day. Let's see what some of the dogs are saying, some of the comments. Okay, here we go. What do we got here? You guys can see them too. ASTS is a pain in the ass. It's on track to launch satellites everywhere. It's not a momentum play yet. It's just got a big channel. We'll get into that chart. Blood in the sea means when the market is falling hard and people are panicking, we buy in tears. That's true. That's why we sold it into the crazy strength. So now it's back to a fixed rider. Maybe I'll put it to work if we could fall 3-4%, but I don't know if we're going to do that. Let's see what else we got. Oklo, that was a good move. That's true. Watch CRW today. That's true. It was up a lot, then came in. Red Dog and everyone. MVST reported big B chart looks good. They have a mixed shelf offering filed, not exercised. I think they're waiting for $5. MVST. Yeah, nice move for MVST. Where is it this morning? MVST. Yeah, that's not for me. I don't even know what the hell this thing is. It's fine. If you're trading it, you're trading it. It's bad enough that we've been trading for, again, what the hell's the name of that stock? WRD, which is, not doing a whole hell of a lot. It's still hanging in here. I'm still staying with some. I did, buy a little bit, and I sold some into the 1070s, and as long as it holds this, 8080, I'll try and stay with it. You would think it would do better, but it's not. Bob is down. I did not take Bob. Everyone like, Red Dog, Bob is earnings. Come on, get in there, get in there. Didn't do it. Thank you. Saved myself 10 grand this morning. We'll see what that does this morning. Bob is down 6. It's nice. I'm out of the way there. Actually, I did some you got to celebrate some small wins. So let me tell you about some small wins. Didn't take Baba. Baba would have cost me about 5-10 grand because I was going to take the 133 by 137 call spread. Didn't do it. Did do JD. Look at JD. JD, I'm out of though. JD, what's it called? Power plays is done. That was a nice move. We had the $35 calls. Mike sold those, so that was a good decision. So didn't take Bob. I took Cisco. Yes, I did. Look at Cisco. Cisco is up decent. Cisco had a nice report. Cisco is strong. It probably takes out to 660 in time. We'll see how much of today's gap holds. Cisco beat on everything, and it's up 237. What am I in? I'm in Cisco $62 calls. Not so bad. So Cisco, I'll probably trim a bunch, into this up move. And if we were in a stronger tape, it probably would be up 3 or 4, and we'd be making more. 64.20 is some resistance, so we'll see what happens there. Let's see. Day trader Chen is worried about Apple. Okay, so we want to take a look at Apple. Apple, 206.75 is the gap. Where is Apple right now? Apple is, what are you so worried about? It's down a little bit more than everything else. It's fine. Down $1.30, 209.50. This is what? This is 209. Yeah, 209. It's right here. Look where it came from. Anyhow, probably have too much. Anyhow, yeah, it's a little weaker. But anyway, Timmy Cook didn't go to the Middle East with Trump. Anyway, so he's in the doghouse. Let's see what else is going on. I'm not in Microsoft. Microsoft acted a little bad. GLD. Topher, Red Dog had a decent call on GLD, by the way. Look at that. Remember this wide range bearish engulfing candle that we played puts with? Well, that was a nice day to get out of gold and at least not be focused on it. Came all the way into the 50-day. It's probably up a little bit with everything else today. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, I like to buy the GLD on the 50-day. I'm like, if that's what you do, buy it on the 50-day. It's been in a strong trend. Chances are it's better to buy it on the 50-day than, if you bought it up here. Let's see what GLD is doing today. GLD is probably up $2.50. Let's see. Oh, GLD is not even up with the market down. So I'd be a little careful with the GLDs. We actually had that as a power play. It worked out pretty well. I lost money, Chad, in RGTI. You want to talk about my dead squirrel too? Or look at this. Like I took options into this and anyway, lost money. It happens. Trump urges Apple to prioritize U.S. manufacturing over India, citing high tariffs and trade tensions amid Apple's growing production in India. I thought India was our friend. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, Microsoft. You want me to look at Microsoft? Microsoft is a chosen one. Look at that. Microsoft, I'm not really trading, but Microsoft is good to know for the indices. Most people that I have in the alpha team are long Microsoft versus peg play. What is a peg play? When you get earnings and it comes out and you have a big gap up, you usually get a pivot. You get a gap that if you don't trade for a living and you just want to have moves of strong stocks that protect gaps, you could be a buyer. So at this point, Microsoft, even with the layoffs, is trending pretty well. So we'll see if the dip gets bought. Most swing guys are in here. It's above the 8-day. It's a little extended. It's been working well. Kind of the same peg play as Meta. There are a lot of guys that are long Meta versus 570, but you're allowed to take trades. Me, I had 3 different option sets. I don't have any Meta. Maybe I'll buy some today. We'll see. Ethereum. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm a Bitcoin guy. Well, what's a Bitcoin guy called? Conrad. If you love Bitcoin, what's the name of you? Isn't it like a Maxi something? Anyway, eToro. I'm a maximist. I used to trade everything across the sun. Like 3 years ago, I had a huge account. I was trading all the different altcoins. I made a lot of money, and I was up all night. Not doing that shit anymore. I'm buying IBIT every month. I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm trading that, and I'm not going to fall when the market goes down and Bitcoin gets crushed at some point like it always does. The altcoins fall 90%. Anyway, that's not right now. The IBIT, we had a friggin' awesome move. Been all over this thing. There was a power play here, and now we'll see if it goes sideways and has a high level flag or wants to come into the 8-day. This high here, in my humble opinion, gets taken out. It's just a matter of when, in a week, in 3 weeks, in 2 months. I don't know. All I know is we were really good with this. With the turkey chop, started buying Bitcoin very well before Thanksgiving. We had the ramp up, and then we had the 100K marathon into Christmas. And then right around here, we got really good and really sized up. So anyway, what am I going to do? I'm buying a little MSTU calls, thinking that, hey, at some point, if Bitcoin's going to take out 108, which it might, and I don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen in next week. It could happen in a month. I have a feeling this MSTU is going to get to, this 1360. So you could probably buy some cheap $10 calls and go out a little bit for that type of move. Maybe, or you could trade Mister, which has been in a really, really nice trend, but just be careful that if this trend breaks, if 398 breaks, it just had a huge move and it's been following the 8-day. By the way, the 8-day moving average is my friend. Could be your friend too. Anyway, I've done a lot of ebooks about the 8-day. Above it, you try and be long. It's a strong trend. Below it, you get a little bit more flexible. Yes, Dix is buying Foot Locker. I don't own Foot Locker. It's funny how that rumor's been out for a decade and finally it happened. Congratulations if you're in Foot Locker, or Dix or whatever the hell is going on there. Did I see UNH? I did. UNH is a great lesson. It's great to show you that I don't care, what the company is, what the story is. You do not catch a falling knife. Plus, look at this pro gap that never got filled. It's just another concept. You should not be touching this thing. You should not be trying to catch a falling knife. If you ever were to do something like this, down another 20, holy cow. The only thing you do is maybe you buy some options because risk is premium paid versus trying to get your clock cleaned. We don't like our clock cleaned. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and that's really it. My dogs, eToro. We'll see how it goes. So far, it failed. It failed the first day of the IPO. If you want to Google the first day of the IPO or the art of the deal, not the deal. That's Trump. The art of the first day. I've been doing this for 20-something years. You'll see that there was no reason whatsoever to be in this thing. It made its high, never got back above it. All the flippers were much stronger than the demand. And now what you want to do is you want to write this down. This is 74.28. You do not need to trade this thing ever again as a momentum trader unless it gets above 74.28 or, starts to build a base for a SAT or something. Anyway, this doesn't let you draw on here. 74.28. And it's got to get above and stay above, not get above it for like 20 seconds. Where is it this morning? eToro down 57 cents. Anyway, all right, my dogs, at 6:50. Hope everyone's doing well. A lot of my friends that are on the Alpha team are at the highs of their year. Kachingo. A lot of guys kept putting in their 401k. Some of my community members bought 3 tiers of their blood in the street account, not just 2. I only did 2. We were 21% off the highs. I got out of it this week. And some of you also on your trading accounts are doing great. So if that's you, keep working, keep doing it. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're doing well. But don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get all excited and start buying stupid things. Pay off some debt. Get yourself comfortable so you're in the right frame of mind for when things are a little bit choppier. And who knows? Does this start a little bit of a pullback? We'll see. At this point, I did try and thread the needle. I reduced a lot of risk, put on some hedges. So I'm short some premium. I'm long some puts. I have less on. I will test levels and do what we do. It's Thursday, heading to Spooky Nook this weekend for AAU basketball tournament. Hopefully Chase performs, right? Everyone performs differently at different levels, and just train yourself. They say you rise to the occasion. No, you usually revert back to your training. So keep training, my dogs. I'll see you soon.